Hi, everyone. Just a quick note. This episode contains discussion of suicidal ideation, so you may want to listen with care. It also talks a lot about end-of-life stuff, so if you're not in the headspace for that, you might want to skip this one. Thank you for listening, as always, and enjoy the episode. Little Miss Recap contains adult language and is intended for entertainment purposes only. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Little Miss Recap. My name's Amy Archer. I'm your host. I'm here today with, let me just say, I'm going to talk about Come See Me in the Good Light. And the minute I heard this was coming out, I was like, there is no one else I would rather cover this with than someone who would sit next to me by wishing well.
Yes.
And feel the weight of the world as children. Jake Anthony.
Yes.
Jake Poodle Anthony.
I am gratified to be here. Celebrating that Come See Me in the Good Light and Andrea Gibson and everything they were and they are. And before that, I just have to say, you have an announcement before your podcast that says this podcast is for entertainment purposes only.
I mean, I hope it's entertaining, but we'll see.
I was going to say that's hope. There's a lot of hope put in there. I've never even thought about what the purpose of my podcast is before.
Yeah.
I thought it was a way to keep me off the streets.
I stole that from someone else. I heard somebody in our circle did it. It was probably Corey and Carly from Surviving Sister Wives. They're always careful.
I think that's a great idea because I'm afraid of litigation.
I'm really afraid of litigation.
And so it makes me want to put that, I've had a lot of experience with adult children of previous relationships and with lawyers. So
you have to have an ironclad prenup at all times.
Yeah. You're just trying to have a hospital wedding and they're there at the door.
Hey, listen, when you grow up on soap operas, we are bound to repeat that which we know. So
true.
I got it.
I did grow up on soap operas.
I did too. I hear you talk about the theme from Young and the Restless, Nadia's theme, and you go, I mean, I don't know if I've told you this before, but when I went to college, I was going to be a soap opera writer. That's what I was going to do. And I brought 2 VCRs with me.
Wow.
And I recorded all 3 of the networks.
I love that there were 2 VCRs. It was necessary because you could only program so many.
And then I had a newsletter on AOL called the Demira Times. And I
Stefano Demira's main man. That's Stefano Demira.
And I'm telling you, I don't know, every time I tell the story, the number gets exaggerated. 50 million subscribers. That's how many I had.
Totally believe it. Soap opera fans there were I remember in in South Carolina there would be like these fan gatherings, so like these expos and the soap opera fans like Drake Hogston was always there.
I hugged him. I met him. He smelled delicious. He had pizza in his hands because I went to the daytime Emmys. I used to work for a television station. They sent me to the daytime Emmys.
Oh, wow.
And I stayed in the hotel where they all stayed. And I saw Drake and I saw Deirdre. I saw them all.
He's not with us, right? Am I
Oh, Poodle.
Or did I just kill someone else?
He'll be dead. I think he's still alive.
Uh-oh. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for Drake Hogston's family and his friends. I did not. Maybe it's okay because I didn't do it on my podcast.
Listen, even if John Black dies because of this, he'll come back. He'll be back in another year.
In another body. He'll be recast.
He'll be Roman Brady next time. It's
exactly. Okay. The way they played in our faces with Roman Brady's and then John Black, and then it was really John Black, and then it was Roman Brady, and then it was a robot.
The pawn. Jesus. Wow. Okay, well that's not what we're here to talk about.
I got distracted talking about soap operas.
It's okay. All right.
So
let me ask you, we talked a little bit, but what was your reaction to this movie?
I kind of sat, I watched like the first 10 minutes I think it was released about, 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
4 months ago. Yeah, something like that.
I think so.
I watched the first 10 minutes, about a week after, I think, I started bawling. So I figured it wasn't a great time to start that film.
Yeah.
And so then I was like saving it for a certain time, and I just kept, and you're like, hey, you want to talk about this with me? And I went, this is time. And I also thought maybe I can kind of divorce myself from it because I'm going to be taking the little notes on it. And since I'm going to be applying some type of scientific method to it, I might not be, I might not be a blubbering mess.
Yeah.
That I kind of still was, but I thought it was, I think I mentioned to you, it was much more affirmative and much funnier than I expected.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I laughed several times, but that's Andrea, right? Like they're hilarious.
Yeah.
That's who they are.
Totally.
I, like you, first of all, when they died, I don't know why, like certain, you know how sometimes certain deaths just hit you?
Yeah.
I remember just feeling like, oh, now the poets are gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was this.
I didn't know a ton
heaviness
about their work before. I'd heard a couple of poems, like Tincture, I'd heard, and a couple of clips I'd seen of them doing the poetry. But I think when it was out that they had cancer, and I remember it being that they were at the end of their life, I remember that's when I started kind of going, oh yeah, that I think I've seen that. And then I kind of watched a couple other things and I was like, oh, this is some serious talent. Yeah. And this is some serious someone who lived big. And and anything about poets, and they're not someone who uses lots of crazy words.
I loved when they talked about making poetry accessible. I loved that.
They're like, I use 5 words.
That was great. Octopoidal.
What the fuck does that mean?
So I finished my MFA in 2011, and I started doing performance poetry around that time. Oh, and I really loved it.
Really got into her.
I really got into. So there's a press called Write Bloody, and they're in Austin, I think, Texas, and they have a lot of poets that I was really into. Andrea was one of them. Megan was one of them.
Yeah.
John Sands, Anis Mojani is one of them. Like just a bunch of performance poets who are amazing. And at the same time, we have this. I live in the middle of nowhere. When you talk about where you grew up, all those stories, I'm still living them. I have a friend who's it's bleak. I have a friend who's an English teacher, and she's one of these English teachers that just goes above and beyond. It is amazing. Yes,
English teachers saved my life.
Same.
Yeah, totally. Same. I would not be where I am without
100%. And this woman brought a bunch of these poets in. So Andrea actually came here.
Wow.
And so I saw them perform. I saw a bunch of the Write Bloody poets over a course of like maybe a couple of years. And so like I've known about them. Yeah. And I've always appreciated them. I'm not going to, I can't sit here and name 85 of their poems.
Right.
But I always knew like they were amazing. Yeah. And so then once, and it kind of happens in the background. Like what you described is right. Like you see on Instagram or something like, oh, they have cancer and then it's gone. And then, okay, everything's okay. Like I was saying to my husband, Timmy, when we were going through this, I'm like, I don't think Andrea ever had that last show because I really didn't. No. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it happened. And I remember like 2 weeks, they said they weren't going to do treatment anymore. Or there was no, and then there was this like kind of weird vigil, like the whole internet was kind of like waiting, and then when they were gone, it was like a white puff of smoke, like when they found a pope or something. Yes. It was just like, okay, here we go.
It's insane. And so like their death just hit me, and I was like, okay, I know I have to watch this documentary, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it. Yeah.
I did not expect from this documentary for it to, how do I explain this? I expected to be suffering through maybe 2 forms of my feelings. I didn't expect like 5.
Yeah, there's definitely a loss. And it feels like the world lost something, the world lost a voice, and it mirrors all of our loss in some way that poetry kind of reminds us of constantly.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing and a really painful thing.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to live in both of those things. It's but there's a lot of fingering talk.
Okay, so let me just, before we get there, let me say the doc is done by Ryan White. He did Pamela, a Love Story. Did you see that?
Fantastic.
Excellent. The Keepers.
Yes, obviously.
Fantastic. A bunch of other ones. I didn't write everything down, but this was nominated for Best Documentary for this Academy Awards. And the producers are Glennon Doyle, Abby Wambach, and Tig Notaro.
I heard of them.
The A-Team. I love Tig Notaro so much on Star Trek. Oh my God, Tig Notaro.
I haven't gotten to those episodes yet. I'm on Starfleet Academy.
No, I'm talking about
they're on something else?
They're on
which one?
Brave New Worlds. Is that it?
Oh, that's one of them.
The one with the really hot Strange New Worlds, the really hot Captain Pike.
Wait, yes, Tig Notaro. What am I talking about?
Yes.
I've seen all of those.
Yes. Yeah. You can't forget Pike.
Oh my God. I that's my new favorite one. I watched Starfleet Academy and I like it, although it's a little Star Trek 90210 for me.
Oh, that's what I'm afraid of.
But I enjoy Holly Hunter just being a captain. And I love Holly Hunter just climbing up in the captain's chair with her feet on it like she's in a Nancy Meyers movie. It's totally worth watching. I watched 3 episodes.
We're saving it. We're letting it pile up.
Yeah,
and we're going to watch it. Yeah. Okay, so I just wrote opening scene. I am here for this editing talk. Editing is such an intimate, amazing, could be hilarious, could be adversarial at times relationship between 2 writers. And when they're going back and forth, I said to my husband, this is why I would never marry another writer.
Absolutely not.
I can't take that criticism from you. I can take it from everybody else. I can't take it from the person I'm sleeping with that night.
Oh, absolutely not. I can't be with someone who does the exact same thing as me.
No, because I need to win. I need to be better than them.
Thank you.
Yes.
Of course, that goes unsaid.
Like, what if Timmy was a better writer than me? We'd have to get divorced.
If I can't be better than my partner, how am I going to feel about myself?
So, Andrea says that Meg's a tough editor and edits sort of like an English teacher. Yeah. And Andrea might get annoyed and mad, but usually calms down the next day and is like, yeah, you're right. And Meg says they have 2 different approaches to cliche. Meg tries to eradicate the cliche, and Andrea doubles down on it, forcing it to work.
I love that.
I was nerding out over this. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what it is? Because I have, when I'm I write as well, and I write more fiction and things like that these days, and theater pieces, so I don't write as much poetry as I used to, but it all comes from the same place. And I find myself sometimes when that is criticized, or not necessarily these days, it's okay if it's people I trust.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like if it's in a room, I remember having to this workshop I was part of, and people I barely knew opining about things that I had done. And I was like, who the fuck are you? You just presented something about 4 nuns who like were into cutting. Yes. You're awful.
It's interesting because I often say that thick skin has really helped me in podcasting because people can leave all sorts of reviews. And I'm just like, okay, like there's once in a while one will cut through.
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
it gets easier. It gets easier. When we first started, there were some really rough ones. My favorite still is, and it hurt when I first did it, but now it's wonderful. And it says, a know-it-all with a slut with a sex addiction and a complete rube moron have a podcast. Groundbreaking.
I don't know which way to go with that. I don't know.
The groundbreaking is my favorite. We almost use that as our log line.
So when you put yourself out there in terms of a writer and you get that feedback, and it's, sometimes, like, I wrote memoir. People were like, Bev D'Onofrio was my mentor when I was writing my memoir. And she was like, you come off too slutty in this book. And I was like, oh my God. You just learn you develop a thicker skin. Because now you're like, all right, well, what are you going to say to me?
I love that idea of doubling down on a cliche.
Yes.
And making it work. And because I'm the same as an Enneagram 4. I'm trying to avoid all types of cliche because I'm the only one who's ever come up with it.
Yep. You have to be different.
I would be more of a Meg type, trying to use the word octopoidal. Although even I might have stopped myself.
Sometimes you just, and this is true, sometimes you just fall in love with the word.
Totally.
And you've got to make it work. You've got to get it in there. So I love Andrea's comeback, though. They say, I understand you would be incapable of making this edit if you were really tapped into the message of the poem.
Yes.
Oh, I love Poet Burns.
Yes,
so good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So we're brought in, and Andrea's already sick, and we learn that they are Colorado's poet laureate.
Yep.
And did you have? It's hard to look at things through an American lens and not be like, who's paying for all this healthcare? Were you kind of like that?
A little. Yeah.
Like, who's paying for this? And then I'm thinking maybe the state, because do they pay the poet laureate?
I don't think that bills are paid for. I don't think that's an official position.
I don't know, but all of this care looked really expensive, and unfortunately, in this country, you go bankrupt when you get cancer. So
I do have to say that America doesn't pay for anything arts related. Almost, I don't know if the state would. If this was Europe, they would definitely be paid for. But I don't know. This is. So I was sucking the state. I was sucking the state of the teat state when I lived in Austria like crazy. Just,
I would be too. I would be too. 100%.
I was an employee of the state. I had house calls for doctors because my checks were signed by the Ministry of Culture.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, musicians a lot of times because I was part of this.
We just don't know how to do it here.
We have no idea, and because patronage is still kind of alive. They're artists. Yeah.
Well, anyway. I mean, we both have Patreon, so we get it.
Oh, we get it. We get it.
So they laugh that Andrea has a way of befriending people that you really shouldn't. Like they went to their doctor's wedding.
That was a little.
Now tell me,
boundaries, doctor.
Tell me, Maddie wouldn't go to his doctor's wedding.
100%. I don't want someone who's given me a physical they've had their finger up my butt. I don't want to see them get married.
Listen, I don't even want to go to my sister's wedding if she ever has
exactly.
Another one.
Who wants to go to weddings? Wet cake. Cake is the only reason to go.
That's very true. Very true.
And open bar.
Yeah, both. Yeah. They go hand in hand.
Yeah,
they go hand in hand.
I don't want to see anyone get married.
No. Andrea says, when I was young, I thought dying would be easier if everyone died at the same time. But I'm changing my mind. As I'm dying, I'm seeing my friends become more of who they are. And then they like catch themselves and they're like, but I don't want to say that I'm definitely going to die. Like there's this internal struggle through the whole film of like, I know this is happening, but I don't want this to happen. And and you can tell they're kind of calculating like, what do I put on Meg and what do I keep inside? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of that too, I think.
And it was just the candor which they captured them talking.
Yeah.
And that's where you notice that they lived their life like a poet. Where noticing small things, just like the mailbox stuff. Like
mailbox.
I started
amazing.
crying.
Mm-hmm.
I started crying as soon as they said they were fixing up the mailbox, which was hit by a snowplow constantly. And
country mailboxes, I feel it.
They said, I would have delivered to this mailbox because I would see how hard people tried. Because what matters most is trying. And I may have went,
I know. It's interesting because I said to my husband, I need you to watch this with me because I need to you to understand that I go through the world seeing things like this.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's so hard to try to explain that to other people. Like my husband's pretty artistic, but I think as a poet or a writer, like it's different.
Do you ever scream, "You will never know me"? Like his face?
No, I don't, but I should.
You
I should start
should.
that. Yeah.
So I had a boyfriend like that who one time who could not understand why I would be working on like artistic stuff on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "But this is like fun times." And I'm like, "This is work. This is work that fuels me. This is work that makes me want to live."
Yes.
But he was just like, blah, blah, blah. And I screamed like, "You don't understand me. You don't understand me."
No, I agree with you. It's something that's always there.
Yeah.
Like when people are like, "I'm bored," I don't even know what that's like.
I know. I got so much shit going on in here.
Right.
There's too many people in my head.
Ay. Little Miss Recap will return in a moment. For ad-free episodes, visit littlemissrecap.com/support. Today's show is sponsored by Dame Products. This Valentine's Day, many of our reality TV couples are struggling to connect.
Struggling is one way to put it.
You know what could bring some of these couples closer, Amanda?
Therapy and self-introspection?
No. Well, yes. And a little shopping spree at Dame Products.
Imagine what Dame's Eva wearable vibrator could do for Lisa and Daniel. Eva is a hands-free wearable vibrator that stays in place during partnered sex. Designed for a secure and comfortable fit, it really is the ideal sex toy for couples.
I cannot imagine her in her wig trying that out. But hey, you never know.
You never know.
If you guys find yourselves without a partner this Valentine's Day, like any one of our souls on the single life, why not treat yourself to some much-deserved self-pleasure? For example, Amanda, I have heard from a friend that the Min vibrator is fantastic.
Funny, I've heard that from a friend as well.
Yes. I mean, you could think of Min as your classic mini wand, but softer, sleeker, and more powerful. And most Dame products now use USB-C charging. Finally, one less cable to stress about. I mean, imagine what the Min could do for our girl Liz. Could she make better choices and learn to find her own pleasure?
It absolutely couldn't get any worse than her previous choices.
True.
Dame believes pleasure is health. Their products are thoughtfully designed to help you connect with yourself and your partner in ways that feel effortless and exciting.
Right now, Dame is offering 20% off site-wide, their biggest sale of the year when you shop at Dame.com. And Dame is so much more than vibrators, guys. They have a ton of sexual health items for women, like Desire gummies, lube, massage oil candles, and more.
And Amy, Rick is going to be thrilled to learn they have a Throw waterproof sex blanket made from ultra soft cotton. No more of that tarp that he brought.
No, better than the tarp, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Throw is a circular sex blanket with hidden waterproof layer that keeps things mess-free and a pouch that keeps it travel-ready. Breathable and compact, it's designed for whatever you're into, from period sex to breakfast in bed to picnic under the stars.
Or a trip to Madagascar. Go treat yourself. That's 20% off everything at Dame.com. And just a heads up, everyone, if you want it in time for Valentine's Day, the expedited shipping deadline is February 10th. So that's like right now or has passed. And you know what? You don't have to wait for Valentine's Day. You can explore self-pleasure any time of the year.
Be your own Valentine every day.
And tell them Little Miss Recap sent you. Thank you, Dame.
Thank you, Dame.
Today's episode is brought to you by Factor Meals. It is freezing here in the Northeast. I think it was like the wind chill was -25 the other day. And when it's like that, I am so grateful to have a bunch of Factor meals in my refrigerator and I don't have to leave the house. Factor makes healthy eating easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs, so you eat well without the planning or the cooking. Factor Meals uses quality functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. There's no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and no refined seed oils. Factor Meals offers 100 rotating weekly meals to keep things fresh and delicious throughout the winter. They also have various menus for whatever your dietary choice is. My favorite is the GLP-1 support menu. Let me tell you what I ate this week. The Parmesan and garlic cream shredded beef with cauliflower, peppers, and tomatoes. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm a huge cauliflower person, so I'll eat it however, and this was absolutely perfect. I also, close second, would be the honey butter chicken breast with Yukon mash, zucchini, and caramelized onions. And what's so great about Factor is there's just enough for you. So you don't have to deal with leftovers. You don't waste anything. It really makes you feel good about your diet and what you're eating. Factor meals are always fresh, never frozen. I use Factor meals and you should too. Head to factormeals.com/littlemiss50off and use code littlemiss50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. I've told you guys before, my kids love their breakfasts. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by plan. One free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active. Again, that's factormeals.com/littlemiss50off using code littlemiss50off. The link is in the show notes. Thank you, Factor. So there's this funny scene. There's funny scenes throughout, but the first one is when Andrea goes for their treatments and some guy's like, "What's that camera crew?" And they're like, "Oh, they're obsessed with me. They just came to my
Men
house
have
this morning
followed
and
me the
started filming me."
whole my life.
It's so great. So in 2021, Andrea was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. So they did a radical hysterectomy and chemo. And then 6 months later, the cancer came back, spread to their liver and diaphragm. Then they did another year of chemo, but in 4 months, it came back again. And at that point, it was incurable. And they had been given like a 2-year life expectancy when all this started. And they had the option to stop treatment. And Andrea told her doctor, "Don't ever give me that option again. I'm doing it." And they're like, "All I want to do is say that I'm 50 and I'm 48 right now." And it just, you know what? I'm going to be very honest with you. It made me feel ashamed of myself.
Because I should be living.
Yes. I was like, we just take our health for granted.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
it just
totally. No, it maybe when they said how old they were and they wanted to be 50, I went, okay, because I've been dreading that age. So maybe
you're exactly my age, right?
48.
What year were you born? 77?
77.
Me too. September.
Yeah. October.
Okay. I'm a September Libra, don't forget.
1 month. Oh, they all like to talk. That's the Libra is the and I go towards the Scorpio Libras.
Okay.
So
I have a Scorpio ascendant, so I get it.
It's mine is a moon and it works its way into me.
I grew up with my grandmother saying, "Libra is the very best sign, Amy.
Boy.
You are the very best sign."
Melted. We were talking about this because this guy on 90 Day has on the single I've had a Libra tattoo. It's like,
oh, I know.
It's like really balanced. It's because we're balanced. I'm like, that's not true. You're seeking balance.
We seek balance. We can never find it.
No. And we equivocate like motherfuckers.
Yes.
So we're not balanced.
Recency bias was invented by us.
There's too many things inside of us to find balance.
So they have dinner with a friend, Steph, and this is where they're joking that Meg is going to finger the cancer out of Andrea. I was dying. I was laughing so hard. And what it is, guys, is Andrea's leaving these messages for her friends. So when they're getting this horrifying, terrible, sad news, they're trying to cushion the blow with some humor.
Yeah.
And it was really funny. And then Steph was talking about getting thumbed, which I thought was pretty good.
I made a joke about someone getting thumbed before, and it didn't go over well with our audience. I was talking about, is there anything you can do with like urethras? And everyone was just so disturbed. I'm like, they could call it thumbing. And
it just sounds painful.
I agree. But people will find it.
People are into everything.
Out of everything.
Yes. What did you think of the scene where Shania Twain was playing on that filter? Yes. And so, guys, when they got the news, Meg got on the Snapchat filter that makes you look old, and sent it to Andrea, and they're playing "Still the One" by
Shania
Twain.
What it looks like when I'll get older.
And you realize Andrea's never going to see themselves old, or Meg old.
Yeah, I wrote down the aging filter. Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote, file this under things you don't think about when you die in middle age. Like, you don't think about the fact that you're never going to see yourself old.
It's so
wild.
interesting. I went to a friend of mine's funeral. This was who maybe is 3 or 4 years older than me.
Okay.
Massive heart attack, randomly, genetic.
Okay.
Like,
yikes.
Had heart problems his whole life.
Yeah.
And like sudden, everything like that. And people talked about, and this guy was an actor, but people talked about things like he lived life to the fullest and was going until the very end. And I'm like, and I was thinking, and of course, in a very Libra way, I said, would people say this about me?
Of course. Of course.
Like, that's what I was thinking.
I already said I'm writing my own obituary, and I'll do it when I'm like 55, just to be on the safe side. It'll be done.
And part of me wants to say, I would want read, this was Jake's worst day. I would want or something where, you know, he could see the worst part of something, you know, which I actually think I'm very much an optimist, down to my core.
I am too.
And
I'm dark. I have a dark sense of humor and stuff.
But I
am an optimist at heart.
In the goodness of people.
I do
really
too.
Believe.
I couldn't get out of bed in the morning if I didn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's too dark. Life is too dark.
Yep.
And that's what was so optimistic about this movie, because everything that Andrea was observant and almost like a preacher to everyone to take what they have now and all the way back to when they were younger.
Yeah.
They showed all the old footage of them, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we're at that part right now. We see the trajectory of Andrea's career, and they were born in a small town in Maine. They grew up where there were no queer people.
Boy, in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yep. They moved to Colorado, and their girlfriend broke up with them, and boom, they started spoken word poetry. And
of course, they became best friends with their exes.
They are friends with all of their exes.
Yes.
Yeah. So Meg Fallon. Okay, so I have a note here that Write Bloody Books was founded in 2004, and Andrea was one of their biggest names.
Yeah.
And I met a lot of these poets too. I worked for, I don't know if you're familiar with Pank magazine, but it was kind of like a big literature magazine. Actually, totally. Roxanne Gay was my boss. I was the reviews editor. So they would send me all these books, these poetry chapbooks and stuff that I would get to review. It was really cool. A couple of years in my life. But I have here Buddy Wakefield, John Sands, Sarah Kay, Anis Mojani, and Meg Falley's one of them. So that's how they met, I think, through the Write Bloody spoken word circuit. And there is nothing, and you probably get a lot of this as an actor performing on stage. There's nothing like performing spoken word poetry, like 100%. Just that immediate connection with the audience.
And you can feel, and it's just sometimes if you're in a live show, and just also with theater, where you're saying something and you can feel the audience is with you. You can feel the audience is listening to every word. You're communicating something and you can feel them listening and taking it in. And you're right. There's nothing like that. Yeah.
It's interesting because I always say, like, I feel very comfortable. Like when I go out onto a stage and there's a crowd, that is comfort for me.
Yeah, totally.
Some people it's terrifying, but for me it's comfort. It took a while to get there, but I'm there. I think teaching helps that too. You're in front of
it does. It totally does. When I was in grad school, I had to be in front of a class of 200 people in a lecture format. And I was at I was at bigger state schools. So in state schools, your TAs teach some of your lecture courses.
Yeah.
And I was teaching a 200 seat lecture course on music appreciation or music history.
Yeah.
And you had to learn to be the authority, and you had to learn to be almost presentational. And
it's hard.
And it's hard at 24.
Yep.
I'm like, and these people are 4 years younger than me or 5 years younger than me.
I know.
And it was hard to develop that. And I bet, did they try to run all over you? Because you're first of all, you're female, and also you're kind of short.
I was just gonna say, and I'm tiny.
And they probably try to push you around.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
Yeah. It was and growing up as somebody who lived in a fat body for a very long time, I had zero confidence. So I was up there like, until I figured it out. You know?
I was all like the heavy. I was just like, oh, okay, this is how it's gonna be, motherfuckers. Okay. You're late.
And then
blah blah blah.
Once you I did a story slam once that I won, and once you get up there and you start reading about being fat and having sex in bathrooms and stuff like that, you're just like, you know what?
Oh, I remember it well.
It's fine. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's true. But there is a feeling that is unmatched.
It's unmatched.
You get addicted to it. Yeah.
And when Andrea was like, I need to have a final show, that's all I wanted for them, Jake. I was like, if they don't get this show, I'm going to stand up and rip this TV down and burn my living room down. Like, that's how angry I was.
Yep.
So there is this great section, which may or may not have come up in my therapy session yesterday, about Meg's memoir.
Oh,
and Meg talks about meeting Andrea and how growing up fat, her body felt like something she had to overcome. And I was like, my breath stopped.
Something
I was like,
had to overcome. Yeah. And then Meg said, because if Andrea could love my body, maybe I could love my body. That was where I went.
I'm telling you, I told my therapist this. I took it to therapy and I read it. And then Meg says, when Andrea kissed my stomach, it was like they were kissing a wound.
Oh, well,
I almost threw up.
The amount we are taught culturally by our parents and society at large that if you're bigger, you need to hate that. You need to hate it and become something else. You need to hate that so much that you go run laps. You do things. I've told this story.
You become the funniest person, the smartest person, the most well-read person, everything else.
Because it's the other ways, maybe that can overshadow the fact that I'm fat. Or my father, just tells you, my father I would be eating somewhere and I was a little chubby, but my father was so weight obsessed with everyone. He to this day, he is. He's like, we used to call my father anorexic. And because he would say, I'm gaining a couple pounds. It was never my mother. It was my father.
No, I get it.
My father would make these. He's like, time to push away from the table, friend. We would eat and then sometimes we'd be out somewhere and he would make these motions like, all right, push away. And so we couldn't say anything. It was horrible.
My mother just stopped buying food. That was her approach. No,
maybe you'll understand, Amy.
The diet culture that was ingrained in Gen Xers, we have such fucked up relationships with our bodies.
80s and the 90s were peak diet culture, and they, we'll never really get fully over it. And now we can just make jokes about it, but you just.
I highly recommend Your Fat Friend by Aubrey Gordon. That movie was, oh my God, fantastic. Yep. It was unbelievable. So when Meg spoke of this, I was like, holy shit, like this So every 3 weeks they have to measure Andrea's cancer antigen by blood work. And so they're living in these 3-week cycles.
By numbers.
Could you imagine this?
No.
I mean,
it would be all I could think about. And I feel like your mind would go to some magical place because I think it has to. It's like your magical thinking that John Gideon.
Yep.
If you've ever lost someone or been through grief, that might be a hard book right now if you're in the middle of it. But I think if you've got some time to look back on it, I learned a lot by reading that book about some grief that I hadn't. And how going through it. But that's how things feel not real and real at the same time. Yeah. And I bet that's how it felt.
And the sick part of me is like, I would write 85 poems about that because that is begging for a poem, right? Like your mortality is quantified suddenly. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
So at one point, the numbers are up and that's not good. And Andrea's like, I guess that means the cancer's growing in other parts of my body. And I just think that means I'm going to die soon. I just wrote, like, I've had family members die of cancer. I know people with cancer. This cancer was fucking aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They get a new mailbox clearly meant for Fisher Price children. So
we had one time where kids were knocking over my mother's mailbox with like a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And my mother would go out there and get, Dad, they did it again. I'm going to kill those kids. And
I would avoid your house if I was knocking down mailboxes.
Oh my God. And so then my mother got an iron pole for the mailbox and had someone to solder the mailbox to iron. And it was like a steel mailbox. And she's like, this will show these fuckers. And so the next time someone tried to do it and there was a dent in the mailbox, and mother's like, just think about how I just hit the hell out of it when it happened. To this day, she's like, no one's ever taken out my mailbox anymore.
Mailboxes are a real thing in the country. They really are. Yeah.
So yeah, they got a Fisher Price mailbox. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now we begin. There's nothing more that Andrea would love to do than a live show. Like, they really want to do one. And Bethy and Andrea go to the dump, and this is where we get this whole story about Andrea stays friends with all their exes. And Meg talks about Andrea remaining friends with their exes and about something. So she mentions this poem, First Love, and I pulled the stanza that it talks about. My straight friends tease me because all my best friends are my ex-loves. But a wise heart told me it's the most tender part of queerness, how we've all lost so much family. When we find people we call family, we'll do almost anything to not let go.
Yeah, that I can totally understand, and I totally believe that. It happens that way in gay male circles as well.
Yeah.
You kind of stay friends with them, or you hate them and would
want to burn their house down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no happy medium.
Andrea has employed a lot of her exes, and one of them, Heather, is their manager.
Yeah.
And they start to plan this live show, and I'm screaming. I don't know about you, but I'm screaming, just go down the bar and do the live show on Friday night. I understand what they wanted, but like, I was like, this is a time crunch.
Go to your local, coffee shop. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because I know they wanted to really honor Andrea, and I totally get that. But like, in the meantime, just ping, ping, ping at the coffee shops.
Totally.
Meg tells us 3 years ago they were struggling as a couple, and Andrea tried to break up with Meg. And Meg was like, I'm not going anywhere. And there is this beautiful scene where Meg talks about the toll this has taken on her.
Yeah.
And how she's only 35.
Oh, that took my breath away. I think part of this is that's where it almost became. The documentary is about Andrea, but it's also about Meg.
It really is.
Almost in a dual way.
Yeah.
Because it's also about Meg's response to Andrea's cancer and their dying.
And at one point, Andrea says, Meg is an anomaly. I don't know if you guys know this, but like, she doesn't worry. And Meg says, and this is I could never live this way. I wish I could. But Meg is like, when I worry about things, then I look back and realize I had no reason to worry. So now I just don't do it.
That's like something an alien says.
That is so fucking measured.
Yeah, I could not do it.
Wow.
No, my life is too ruled.
Of it.
My life is too ruled by anxiety.
Yeah, me too.
To do that. Yeah.
So Meg talks about trying to find balance, how she feels guilty even writing because that's time away from Andrea. And at one point she's like, I'm working on this balance, but am I too young to be holding all of this at 35?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Sadly, yes. But what are you going to do?
Right.
Looking back, you'll say I wouldn't have given up this for the world.
I agree.
This time. Agree. So yeah.
So one of the most difficult parts of the movie for me, and I'm sure this resonated with you as well, is there was a tumor pressing and creating pain. And so they were talking about adding in another drug, but it could take away their voice.
That was where I had to pause and walk around my apartment because
Little Miss Recap will return in a moment. For ad-free episodes, visit littlemissrecap.com/support.
I could have a lot of things taken away from me.
Me too.
But my speaking voice, or worst, my singing voice, or the way I express myself,
For you as a singer, yeah, this is because as a writer, you could write, right? You could write it.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's not that I don't know how I would go on. I can't get past that step.
No.
Like I don't know. I tell my therapist all the time, it's like there's a column in front of me and I try to go over this side and over this side, and it's too big to see around it.
Yeah.
I said, that's what it feels like to me. I can't even think past that. And so, that took me a while of someone like Andrea to lose their voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And voice is something, in writing communities, we're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
It's all we talk about. It has double meaning, obviously, but it's all we talk about.
Yeah.
And when, I was telling Amanda this because, her father just passed, and we were talking about him going through hospice and all this. And I said, when my grandmother died, I didn't know what to expect because I never sat with someone in hospice and had them die. And I never knew that at one point they can't speak anymore. I didn't know that, and I wasn't prepared for it. And of all the things, that's what hit me the hardest, that I would never hear her again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just so wild to me.
I've never had the hospice experience.
Mm-hmm.
People in my life have either died quickly, or it's my grandmother threatened to die for at least 4 Christmases in a row. And finally I'm convinced the bitch wanted to die on Christmas. And
my grandmother died 2 days before Christmas. So
but it was like 4 days after, and my mom was like, she really tried. This is my mother's mother, and she tried. Give her that. She really tried to make us remember her every Christmas.
Yeah, guys, if you're out there listening, don't die and ruin your grandkids' Christmas. Come on.
Tell you, that time between Christmas and New Year's, they hold on and they just kick it there.
As a teacher, during finals week, all grandparents are in jeopardy. We're always joking, like, make sure all your grandparents are safe.
Right. It's just, but I've never experienced that, like a kind of slow death. And I can't even imagine. And I say all the time, and I laugh about it, but I just hope my parents go at the same time. They're driving in a car and just go off a cliff.
Just Ted Kennedy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do a Chappaquiddick.
Yes.
But neither of them survives in this case. Because honestly, both of mine, they're still married. I don't know what they would do without the other.
Yeah.
And they're already difficult enough. I can't imagine what one is going to be like without the other.
Yeah.
So
my husband's parents, his father passed months shy of their 60th wedding anniversary. And we saw the toll it took on his mother. Like she's still with us and she's okay, but she has really worn the last few years.
Well, you have to find a new reason to keep going.
Yeah.
And a lot of that generation, you lived for other people. You weren't taught to live for yourself.
Nope.
And so, it's going to be weird. It's going to be tough. But I already told my brother, I said, I am not moving back to South Carolina. I don't care.
No, don't go back.
We will hire someone. I'm not going to do a Maddie. I'm not going to go. No. I'm not going to go back and live with my mother in some kind of gray gardens.
See, I'm here. My sister's in New York. She's like, I'll throw all the money you want at you. I'm not coming back.
I told my brother, I said, and you will not do it either. I said, because we will pay someone whether they want to or not. I said, we will not do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
And I understand with some people, if you're caretaking, like for Matt, he had no other choice. There was no one there. Matt's father's wife left him a month before. There was no one except for his brother.
My parents are divorced too. So
and so he had to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Anyway.
they start the new chemo, the drug, and Andrea says the next morning they woke up with no voice and
Jesus.
just completely panicked because they describe this like state of fear where you wake up and you don't feel well, but you can't yell for help.
Terrifying.
Oh, it reminds me of this. I'm going back. Ready?
Yep.
The Metallica video for one.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you. So Meg says, look,
So
I
fucking
have
dark.
I have the most to lose from Andrea dying and the most investment in Andrea staying alive. And even I say, if this means you're going to lose your voice, don't
Nope.
do it.
We're not doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a beautiful gift of like, you know, you make your own decision. So we get the story that, you know, poetry saved them. Poetry saves everybody. Writing saves so many people. It's beautiful. The arts can just save people.
You're getting it out. You're expelling something that needs to leave you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's 3 weeks again, and we get another measurement of the cancer, and it's low.
Yeah.
And they just feel like, oh my God, I've been given a gift of 3 weeks. And it's wild.
Yeah.
So they set the live show for the end of May. And Andrea goes, I'm nervous I won't be alive then. But here's the thing. If I'm not, I won't feel bad about not coming.
Isn't there a weird part that happens? I think if I'm ever given some type of like terminal illness, I'm going to be fucking hilarious. And I'm going to write it all down.
I know. It's
I'm going to make videos and make my friends play them.
and do you kind of wonder, like, it's interesting, right? Because Meg is kind of optimistic through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. And then at the end, you can see Meg kind of crack a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But then she quickly like gathers herself and she's like, but I'm still optimistic.
She knows she has to. That's because I think Andrea would really lose it otherwise.
Yeah. So Andrea's prepping for their show, and I really want to talk about this because they talk about how, and Andrea Gibson's kind of known for this. Like they talk a lot about suicidal ideation, overcoming that. And, you know, I tell all my students who were writing memoirs and hard stories and stuff, like what is that Margaret Atwood quote? Every story has an intended reader. Like there is somebody who this will work for, who will hear the words and they will need to hear them.
Someone is your audience.
Yes. And so Andrea knows this and they take it really seriously. And they're like, you know, I have to start thinking about how I'm going to approach this now because I always tried, you know, a few times I tried to die by suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And now here I am fighting for my life.
Right.
It's wild.
The irony is so strong.
And they talk about, you know, trying to cut their wrists at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was flipping through, I have the book, You Better Be Lightning.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a poem in here and it's one line. It's called Life Sentence. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I finally have a wrist that is sharper than the blade. Right?
Whoa. Yeah.
And you don't need this is accessible writing. Like you don't need octopoidal.
No. That's what I admire so much about it.
Me too.
It's clear, but it's artful
yes.
without trying to be. And it cuts bare. Yeah, this stuff is really fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we see their live show. It's amazing. You would not expect anything less. Tig Notaro's there.
Yeah.
Tig welcomes the crowd. And when it's over, you just see Andrea and Meg just sob into each other's arms. Just sobbing.
It's almost like that's the last thing they needed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what,
And then at the end scene is Andrea gets scan results and the cancer has spread everywhere. And Andrea says, when I got the prognosis of a 2-year life expectancy, I thought it was so short. But now I'm like, wow, I get to live so much life in these 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's where the movie ends.
Which
It was so beautiful.
I'm so glad it wasn't about. It did not end with them in a hospital with a beep.
I am too.
Because this is not a documentary. Some of the biggest issues with anything bio or documentaries or that are biographical of people is they're too linear.
Yes.
And I think that then it becomes this happened and then this happened and then this happened. It's like, have you seen the Jeff Buckley documentary?
Not yet. It's on my list.
It is so fucking incredible, Amy.
So good? Okay.
It's so good. There's all these little drawings too throughout.
Oh, I love that.
It was unbelievable. Everyone go watch. I think it's called It's Jeff Buckley and there's a different title. It's one of his songs. Never leave you, never go away. I don't know. Look up Jeff Buckley documentary. It's fantastic. So
I'm a good Googler.
You're a good not like my co-host.
Not like my mother.
Oh my God. He'll go, it says here that blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no.
So you have to do what I do with my mother. You have to say, here's what you need to Google. And you need to tell them the term to Google. So the doc is called.
What the fuck happens?
The doc is called It's Never Over.
Thank you. It's Never Over. Fantastic. Non-linear.
Okay. There's one like that about Leonard Cohen too. It's all about the song Alleluia.
Yes.
And like how he wrote it and the 27 different verses that he didn't put into it.
No,
and
there were like 49 verses of that song.
Yes.
And there's still morons who think it's some type of religious song. I want to punch them in the face. One last thing, a quote that I wrote down, that they're talking about kind of the end. And I think it's Andrea who says this. And they say, anyone who's ever thought of poetry, that poetry is frivolous, has never needed someone to tell them something unspeakably hard beautifully. And I went, this is going out for the sad girlies. If you ever clutched,
let me collect myself.
I know. If you ever spent a lot of time reading Sylvia Plath, this is for you.
Wow. Jesus. You're just like, I'm in love with words. I'm in love with written words. I'm in love with spoken words. I'm in love with words.
Yeah.
And when I hear something, I'm always like, God damn it. I wish I thought of it that way. I wish I said it that way.
Damn it. I want to steal it.
Oh, it's so brilliant.
I had
a brilliant
composition teacher once who said, we beat ourselves up for not having anything original to say. And we think that we'll never have anything original and it comes from everywhere, and just learn to steal it and imitate it better.
Oh, nice. Yes. Yeah, I like that.
Do it. He's like, do it in your voice. Steal and imitate in your voice.
And you know what? Let me tell you something. Not to get too personal here for a minute, but I have 2 daughters. Neither one of them could give a fuck about poetry or writing or art.
But they're pretty. And that matters. Matters a lot.
Write your fucking ticket.
They'll become influencers.
So I'll be like, guys, let me tell you why the Lumineers are such brilliant songwriters.
Like,
let me explain to you what the Avett Brothers are doing with internal rhyme and slant rhyme here. And they're like, zoned out completely. And I'm like, can I just have a child who gives a shit about this stuff with me? No.
You got twin girls who should be in catalogs.
And I had 2. They were jocks. They played sports. What?
Yeah. No, you weren't given this. My niece and nephews, none of them like music. I try to give them something. I think the youngest one might have something. But I'm about to give up. I give them things all the time. And
my dad is a drummer. His father was a jazz drummer in USO shows. Like, I come from a family of artists, and it stops with me.
What do they like? Being on their phones?
You know what they like? I'm going to tell you what they like. They love true crime. They're obsessed with it.
Well, that's something. That's something.
My one daughter she is a great artist, like when she wants to be. I always say to her, like, you should do tattoo art or something. Like, she does that kind of art.
Yeah.
But no, they're not interested.
I think we one of the reasons, just like what I had, the things that I had for my niece and nephews, and I think it parallels, not exactly, but we want our kids not just to share things, but we things that we enjoy, we want just to be able to share that with them, because that's why you have children, right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, if your kids don't like what you do, what are they there for?
Oh God. I'm like, come on, guys. But no.
No. I never, with my parents, they would share. My mother was a big music person, or is a big music person.
That's good.
And my mother taught me a lot about music, not like playing music. My mother loved the Beatles, and I grew up on the Rolling Stones and the Byrds, and a lot of 60s, 70s music.
Lived until you've listened to Bread. I mean, you just have
and it's so good. And I grew up with that kind of classic music, and that was my taste. And those storytelling, that music is all about storytelling.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful for that. There was always music in our house. And my father really didn't like music, but my mother played it all the time. And
see, my dad had band practice every Friday at our house.
Well, there you go.
Was in wedding bands, and then he was in like blues bands. So, I was around it a lot.
Yeah.
My mom is not really an artist, but my mother is an avid reader. I mean, to this day, she reads probably 5 books a week. Like, I've never seen anybody read books like she does. That's all she does. So, like, I grew up with that love of literature. I was reading The Shining when I was like 10. I was reading all the books off her shelf.
I'm sure that didn't do anything.
Oh, nothing. Flowers in the attic.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Why does incest always speak something in me?
But my point is, like, the arts are just so magical. And if you're right, if you ever need affirmation that, the arts can change a life, this movie will show you that again. Totally. Yeah.
And your English teacher.
Oh my God, yeah.
We should preserve English teachers and theater teachers.
I'll tell you.
I'm telling you, that just...
I used to run the opening banquet, like, dinner for my MFA program. Like, I wouldn't run it, but I was part of the, like, team that they would bring in, and we had asked them questions. So these are people just coming in to get their MFAs. And I would always say, why are you here? Why do you want to be a writer? And which teacher told you should be? Because that is the story every single time. It just takes one teacher to say, oh, you have talent there. And
my world lit teacher told me 2 things. She says, you need to be an artist, and you need to get out of this town. And
was this Pickens?
Yes. And you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I listened, and somehow I got out, and
yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
This was lovely.
We've said it all. This was amazing. Can we just tell Maddie I'm going to come onto your show next, and then we'll do it every other week. Okay. And we'll just talk about poetry. Perfect.
He'd love that. And every poet has to have killed themselves. We got a lot of material.
Lots of material.
They tend to end themselves, a lot of them. So
guys, sadly, you know where to find Poodle. I don't have to tell you.
Find me, go to Reality Gaze. We talk about garbage reality shows, and Instagram Reality Gaze podcast. But I will say, if you don't watch 90 Day, and if you love pop culture, you can find our show, The Gaily Dose, where we just talk about pop culture and general homosexual foolishness, as we say. And you can look that it's on our feed that comes out on Fridays. So
loved your Mariah Carey talk today, was it?
Yes. We talked about the Mariah Carey tribute, which was a debacle.
Which sounds like it went awry.
No one needs to sing Mariah Carey songs in her face. Those songs are too hard.
No, and
everyone failed.
You're one of the only other podcasts besides us covering Suddenly Amish.
Yeah, it's fake as fuck, but
but I'm enjoying it.
I'm still enjoying how weird it is. I'm really invested in Alan and his wife Sarah. They're my favorite people.
My co-host Becca has a tremendous crush on Alan.
I love Alan. There's something.
She wears her
him.
little transition lenses when we cover it. I mean, she's real into him. I'm into Matt.
But oh my god, he's so hot. But most of the English cast is crap. I'm just kind of like, I don't care about you people. They're like second-rate reality TV people. So yeah,
I will tell you, and then we have to wrap up. But I live in Northeast Pennsylvania, and for field trips when we were kids, we were bused to Lancaster, Pennsylvania,
like,
to
gawk
see
at the Amish. Gawk at the Amish.
To see the Amish. And we literally, they treated them like they were specters or something.
Yeah,
like you can't say anything to them. You just got to look at them. Nobody make a sound.
That's weird.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Poodle, thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next time.